A political storm over the federal response to Hurricane Milton will hit Capitol Hill tomorrow. A House oversight hearing is going to probe allegations that FEMA workers skipped over going to homes with Donald Trump political lawn signs. Now, FEMA claims that a rogue employee told workers in Florida to bypass those homes, and Republicans have cried foul, claiming it was all politically motivated. FEMA fired that woman, Marnie Washington. They say it was, quote, a clear violation of FEMA's values and principles to help people regardless of their political affiliation. This was reprehensible. Now, Florida even sued Washington and FEMA. Well, now Ms. Washington is firing back, saying that it's common practice for FEMA teams to avoid some places when it's based on hostile interactions. With me now, former FEMA official Marnie Washington. Marnie, thank you so much for joining. I understand this has been very difficult for you. You have received death threats and you don't feel safe.
No, I don't. And thank you for allowing me on your show and for giving me a voice. Um, it's been a tumultuous event and an uphill battle. But what I'd like for the American people to know is before I even deployed to Florida, that this was the work culture there. I was on two teams in Florida, and the first team, when I arrived, they were implementing avoidance and de escalation. And unfortunately, that trend ran with those Trump campaign signs. So before I even had my own crew in Highlands County, this was the practice. And
When
it's
you say
verifiable.
when you say, excuse me, avoidance and de-escalation, you shared the field guidelines with us, which urge workers to remove themselves from a hostile situation if they feel unsafe for any reason and if they feel threatened. Were there reports of hostility in the neighborhoods that you were responding to as a result of the presence of signs or otherwise?
Yes, we've had people verbally express to us that our presence was unwelcome and unwanted. Some people had some tact about it, and some people were not so nice about it. But all of this information was communicated with my task force lead, which is my direct supervisor. So I did not act on my own volition. Everything we did was out of the focus of safety and making sure our team felt comfortable.
Who gave those orders? Appear to be conveying them, but you weren't the one where they originated. Is that right?
That's correct. All of my orders come from my task force lead, Chad Hershey. His whole mantra this entire um, deployment was to make sure people felt comfortable and make sure that they felt safe. And that's
So,
because we were in what FEMA categorizes political hostile territory.
do you know how they define politically hostile territory? Was it a particular campaign that you were feeling that way towards, or was just the idea of the times that you were in at the times of the relief being requested?
Again, before I was even deployed to Florida, there are accounts of Trump supporters being very passionate about their political stance. And unfortunately, that led to them saying they would either do bodily harm to FEMA workers or they would take threatening actions towards FEMA workers. And that was the trend, not just in Florida, but you'll see that in North Carolina as well and Georgia.
Did that translate to avoiding all homes that had a Trump sign, or were there select neighborhoods that you implemented that trend in or responded that way?
That's an excellent question. It was only selected areas where there were teammates felt uncomfortable. They did not feel safe and they feared for their safety.
So if this was something that you were following from FEMA's protocol, you didn't invent it, you didn't originate it. It was already a practice, you say, before you even got down there. Why are you taking all the heat?
It is the surge capacity team that leaked that information, and they did it with the correct timing after President Trump took office. So this raised questions of violation of the Hatch Act, which clearly there's not because we registered Trump supporters. We've given them service as well, just we avoided the areas that were hostile. Unfortunately, I ended up with double the teammates. We're supposed to only have 5. I ended up with 11 teammates, and half of those teammates proved to be anti-FEMA. They were quite critical of the entire deployment process while we canvassed Highlands County.
Do you think you're being scapegoated? Because FEMA noted in your dismissal letter that you had no prior disciplinary action, none, but this alleged misconduct totally outweighed your positive record. What did that feel like when you read that?
I'm certain I'm being scapegoated because my superior has been demoted in the past for giving the wrong orders. So now that this person is my superior, I've done my best to not only serve him well, but also serve the Highland County well as well. But I'm the scapegoat here because it doesn't make any sense. You have someone with a clean record that comes highly recommended, and then you have someone that's been demoted in the past for egregious acts, yet you retain this person and promote them, but yet fire me and basically leave me out to be scrutinized and lie and tell the American people I was working on my own volition. I don't create policy. FEMA does. I just implement it in the field.
Well, the FEMA administrator, Chris Well, is going to be testifying at tomorrow's hearing. Marnie, given all that you're experiencing, what do you want to hear from her?
It would be nice if Miss Criswell would be human and come to terms with the fact that FEMA has not addressed the safety concerns that the crew leads and the specialists experience out in the field. There are plenty of reports that discuss hostile encounters, is how FEMA describes it, and our method is avoidance. I don't understand why we're hiding that from the American people. If someone feels unsafe, what employer subjects their employees to a hostile work environment? Nobody does that.
Have you been asked to
Why can't we
testify?
be transparent about that? No, ma'am.
Are you surprised? And would you do so if they asked?
I will come forward.
I am surprised that you don't have current counsel representing you, Ms. Washington. Have you tried to get counsel and been unsuccessful in anyone representing you here?
Yes, apparently a lot of people are afraid to take on this case because no one wants to deal with the government. It seems that the Stafford Act is layered and complex, and most people that have tried to hold FEMA accountable for egregious acts in the past, they failed.
And here you are, waiting for a testimony on the Hill, asking a person to be human towards you. Marnie Washington, thank you so much.
Thank you.